So today I want to talk about a concept that I've been learning about called 10x is easier than 2x. And this is a book by Benjamin Hardy and Dan Sullivan. And basically the concept at a high level is in order to 10x your goals, you basically have to strip away 80% of what you currently believe and what you currently are and focus on that 20%. So, for me, this kind of hit home like pretty hard because I've been doing that pretty much my whole career over the past 10 years. So, in the beginning, I still am a pharmacist, but what I did was I started to strip off my identity as a pharmacist as I started investing in real estate, as I started, building other businesses, and I had to slowly strip my identity, which was definitely 80% pharmacist because I was a pharmacy director. So basically, that was my goal and what I had to do. So once I kind of removed myself slowly that identity, that's when my real estate portfolio started to grow. And what kind of triggered me to that exponential 10x growth in real estate was when I got laid off as a pharmacist. Like literally, I got laid off in I think February 2021 in the heart of COVID. And ironically, 2021 is when I scaled so much in real estate. I bought my 2 apartment complexes in my mobile home park and literally went from like 5 units all the way up to like 90, right? So I literally, almost 20x my portfolio once my identity as a pharmacist was shed away. So I kind of took that layoff as a sign that, maybe there's a higher purpose for me. Maybe I just needed that punch in the gut in order to 10x my goal. So, I just kind of shifted over to real estate, and then now I'm kind of stripping my identity as a real estate investor and moving over more towards, content creation, coaching, mentorship, and helping others do what I just did, because it's no easy feat in order to basically work a full-time job, manage a 90-unit portfolio, and on top of that, try to educate and teach people about how to manage real estate and do all that huge balancing act. So now I'm stripping my identity as a real estate investor because I pivoted heavily from a pharmacist into real estate, and then now I'm pivoting over to like content creation, mentorship, coaching, because I want to give as much value to people as possible and help people achieve what I've done and what I achieved. So, it's quite interesting. Like I would say, 8 years I had an identity as a pharmacist. When I got laid off, my identity was shook. I remember the first 2 weeks that I got laid off, I was really shook. Like I didn't know who I was anymore. What's the point of doing this? And that's when I pivoted over to real estate. And then from 2021 all the way to end of 2023, to present day, that's when I had a real estate identity, right? But even now, once I've stabilized my 90 units, I'm down to 50 now. Sold my mobile home park and my 2 apartments are pretty much rented out. Now I'm kind of pivoting over to that identity of, content creation, courses, just giving value on a large scale, because I love to teach, to be honest. That's always been me. I love to teach as a pharmacist. I love to teach as a real estate investor. So it was always in me. I just didn't really know, because I know like teachers don't really make much money. And I love psychology too, in college and undergrad. But once again, psychology didn't really make much money. So it's quite interesting, like over the transformation over the past 10 years. And, this is the journey that you go through as you grow. If you're growth oriented, and, obviously if you listen to my content, you're definitely growth oriented. Like myself, your identity is constantly changing. Like imagine you're like a snake and you shed your skin and you become a new person. And that's what I went through. So like I said, 8 years as a pharmacist, shed that pharmacist identity. Now I've, for the past 3 years, been doing real estate. And then now I'm going to shed that identity and then pivot over to like coaching and content creation, because it's more scalable and it brings me more fulfillment. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to buy real estate over time, but, just not go as fast as I was before. So, right now I'm kind of shedding off that real estate identity a little bit and seeing if I can 10x my new business with YouTube and courses and mentorship. So it's been quite an interesting journey. And, I call this kind of like skill stacking. So, for most of my life, I basically was a pharmacist, trying to get into pharmacy school, undergrad, pre-pharmacy, pharmacy school, pharmacist, moved up to pharmacy director. And now I'm kind of stacking on, real estate investor now. And then on top of that, I'm stacking on as a, real estate teacher, educator, stepping in that arena. So it's kind of like all the skills stack, right? Like all these skills compound. Obviously I could do pharmacy. That's easy for me. Real estate, it's easy for me now, especially, given my track record. I've brought in 3 deals full cycle, so it's easy for me now. So next is my new journey of, content creation, and, that's not my strength, right? Like for me, I'm not naturally creative, not naturally good at like marketing and this. So this is just a new chapter for me. So, very excited, and I've just been reevaluating like what do I need to like shed to really 10x this new identity that I have. And another concept I like from his book, 2x is harder than 10x, is when you think bigger, it expands your mind. So for me, like without trying, to be honest, right now, I own 50 units of real estate, but once interest rates lower, I'm going to do a cash out refinance on my 26 unit and my 20 unit. And then eventually in 3 years, I'm going to get my money in my mobile home park because I'm carrying a second lien position. But once I get that money, like I'm going to have about $1 million, and I can easily use that to buy another 50 unit apartment complex or 2 25 unit apartment complexes, and I can easily double my portfolio, right? That's me not even trying, right? Like, I know it sounds bold to say, but at this point, like, I think I can do it. Like, once I have the money, I'll just send out my direct mail for, maybe 6 to 12 months, and I'll get a good off-market deal in Oklahoma City, negotiate off-market, buy it with instant equity, and have the ability to renovate it and double, increase the rents. And I have a property manager there. I have a general contractor there. I know the markets. I know the market rents. So it's going to be easy, right? Like I can do this without trying. So 2x is easy, right? But if I want to 10x the goal, so let's say I want to go from 50 to 500, then I'm going to have to think a little bit differently to achieve that goal, right? So obviously to get from 50 to 500, there's 2 ways that I could do it. I could either start raising money and use OPM, other people's money. And like I said, I have the skills, the systems, the team there already. I just got to raise money from investors and buy these units. That's one model. Another model is if I want 500 units, then, if I'm very successful in my coaching, on my YouTube, in mentorship, then if I make a lot of money from that, then I could take that money and then buy more real estate with it, right? And if I don't want to raise money or have partners. So that's one route. Another route is I could do a side income that's maybe becoming a commercial real estate broker or a commercial real estate agent, where now I'm starting to sell apartment complexes on behalf of owners, right? In that case, I can use that money to basically, whatever money I make, I can use it to buy more real estate, right? So those are the 3 options that I have. And, as of right now, I'm honestly leaning towards, if I'm getting successful through YouTube, getting successful through coaching and mentorship, that's honestly the route that brings me the most fulfillment. And at that point, I just could use my money to buy deals, because I've always bought deals myself, right? That's probably option 1. Option 2 is, just starting to raise money from people who want to invest in Oklahoma City. But that's a different business model that I would want to try out, and I would only consider that if I left my W-2 job, right? If I'm W-2 job, I probably wouldn't prefer that model, to be honest, of syndicating. And then the last option is basically, starting from brand new, starting from scratch. So that would require the most work if I wanted to, become a commercial real estate broker. But, something along those lines right now. So, when you think 10x, it opens your mind to things. Like a crazy goal would be like, hey, I want to make $100,000 in a month, right? Like that sounds crazy to me. But if I set that goal, like what I need to do to achieve that. So it gets you to think a little bit bigger. It gets you to think in a bigger mindset, and it gets you to think in a bit bigger, tackle bigger opportunities. So, overall, this is kind of what I learned from the book. This is what I learned from the book. 2x is, harder than 10x. So hopefully you found value, and definitely check out the book. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.